When we touch down, better broke down.
With Gamtel G-Fiber, now you can enjoy super fast internet in gigabytes. G-Fiber is affordable, stable, secured, and accessible to homes, businesses, and enterprises. With Gamtel G-Fiber, the future is speed. Gamtel, creating a brighter future in communication.
All right.
Honey, did you remind him that the last time he sent the money, it was not enough to buy all the provisions?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell him.
Are you guys talking about money transfer to buy provisions?
Yes. But
Don't you know about Mballow?
Mballow? What is Mballow?
Mballow is a service that your son can use to send provisions directly to you guys from the shop. And you don't have to worry about the exchange rate.
Tell me how Mballow works.
It's very simple.
Just log on to mballow.com and shop, or download the app on your phone. You can shop on the website or using the app to buy online basic products for your family and friends. With Mballow, you decide what your money is spent on. Your money, your choice. Buy online products for your family and friends in the Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria or Mali. Mballow, better than sending money.
Are you thinking of owning your dream homes? EJ Investment is here for you. Secure our quality bungalows with 2, 3 or 4 bedrooms, or our story buildings 3 or 4 to 5 bedrooms at very affordable prices with flexible payment plans at our Sanyang Seaview Estate, where you can enjoy the cool breeze with modern infrastructure such as tar roads, covered drainage system, modern electrification with street lights, gated entrance with security posts, and social amenities such as gas station, shopping mall, medical clinic, park, schools, children daycare, and a lot more. Our dedicated team of professionals will keep the estate clean at all times, provide security and patrol team within the estate premises, install latest technologies such as CCTV, Wi-Fi, home network installation, solar panel, and power backup system. Also, check out for our additional home facilities and interior design service such as premium tiling, wall plaster, home landscape, fingerprint home lock, and a lot more. Visit our office at Senegambia Kololi Highway and get a free site visit tour, or contact us on 4464-838. WhatsApp us on 3259220. Or you can visit our Facebook page or Instagram on EJ Investments. EJ Investments, we are first in properties.
Hello and welcome to the brunch. I'm Lamin Cham and this is Kerr Fatou, and welcome to our usual weekly current affairs program in which we talked about the major stories of the week with our panelists. Well, today, of course, I'm honored to have just one, and I hope he will be really as good as a number of panelists. The Honorable Saihou Mballow is the Deputy Advisor for Youth Matters at the Office of the President. Mr. Mballow is a well-known name, an activist, very prominent and active in the struggle against the Yahya Jammeh dictatorship operating from his base in the United States. Before that too, before he left there, he was also very active politician and a parliamentary aspirant, actually, for the United Democratic Party, UDP, for the Jimara constituency earlier in the regime of Yahya Jammeh. Mr. Mballow is back since the change of government, and as usual, he's still active. Now he's a member of the National People's Party of President Barrow. In this 1 hour, we will talk about his life, professional and political, and we will also talk about the NPP vis-a-vis the Nyamina West by-elections, if I'm right, and other political matters in this 1 hour. I'm Lamin Cham once again, and thank you very much, Honorable Saihou Mballow, for being on the brunch.
You're welcome, Lamin Cham, and I thank you very much for inviting me here for the first time in Kerr Fatou to have a chat with your listeners and audience.
We are much honored because actually since the brunch started, we've been desperately looking for people from the NPP or perhaps the presidency, to be frequently tackling the critics, and there are many of them. And we've been trying with Esa Damfa, Sidinjai, etc., etc. We are happy that we have now got you now. All right, let us begin, as I said, with introducing you to our audience.
Yes.
Who is Saihou Mballow? Apparently, like I said, I myself got to know your name through activism in the struggle against the Jammeh regime. Then, where do you come from, and where did you grow from in the Gambia?
Thank you very much, Lamin. Briefly, I will just tell you about my background. First, I was born in Fulamori Boche. That is in the Jimara constituency,
okay,
and in the Upper River region of this country.
Yeah.
And I happened to be educated in the Upper River region, Bala Basse. Then I went to Armitage High School,
okay,
and then from there I came and I briefly worked for the Royal Victoria Hospital,
okay,
under the sterilization department of the hospital. And from there, I left and went into politics.
Right.
When the country went into a military rule in 1994, I was among those who worked underground with some Gambians to bring up about a democratic change in this country.
Oh, right.
Then I was very young,
yes,
and I happened to work with people like Mbemba Tambidu, who was
Tambidu
originally from Basse,
yes,
at that time,
yes,
and other people, the late Yaya Jallo.
Yeah.
We were working with other members, prominent members of the United Democratic Party,
yeah,
to get the party registered, and Sidi Asanya.
Exactly. Yeah.
Remember
Sidi Asanya, yes.
Sidi Asanya also from URR.
Okay. Okay.
So we team up for URR.
Yeah.
We make sure that the party United Democratic was registered. Then we did it under a secret manner.
Okay.
Because then it was even illegal to go and ask people to get their voters card to
yes,
get a party registered.
Yes.
So we are doing it. Me and Bemba, we are doing it sometimes.
Yeah.
Bemba Tambi, nighttime,
Bemba,
going house to house, getting people's voters card, filling the forms of the IEC to register the United Democratic Party.
So you virtually form a nucleus of the party's history in URR.
That's correct.
You were among the pioneers.
Among the pioneers in the Upper River region.
And that time, of course, the UDPs considered to be even stronger in the URR than other places.
It was that time UDP was very strong. Within short time, we mobilized all the bigger villages, all the bigger towns in the Upper River region.
Yeah.
We used to go night time to Gambisara, Dembakunda, Garawol, Sabi, to talk to people mobilization. Okay. We go up to Njum Bakari. We go to Mankamankunda, Julangel, talk to people night time, have night meetings to tell them that the military is here, we are going into democracy. We will take them out.
Absolutely.
There is no way we leave military dictatorship in this country.
And then at some point you couldn't succeed in fighting the military, so to speak, because even after they turned to civilian rule, they were virtually a quasi-military government. You contested the Jimara seat in 1997, I guess?
Yes. On the 2nd of January 1997, that was the first parliamentary election in this country. And I happened to be one of the candidates for United Democratic Party for Jimara. I contested the elections against the APRC candidate. And we went into elections. Believe me, I nearly won the elections.
Yeah.
what happened was during the course of voting in Gambisara, when everybody was lined up and they knew this is Mballow stronghold. They came from Basse with a military truck of military and police, and they started to arrest the people who were online. Wow. The Alcalo, deputy brother of the Alcalo, was pointing people on the line, telling them this is Mballow supporter, this is Mballow. They were handcuffed and thrown into the truck. So it was, and people dispatched.
The same story in many countries in the Gambia at the time.
At that time,
the UDP.
And then I couldn't stop there. When I came, when the votes were counted, I lost by a narrow margin. And then I said to the people at the IEC that I have my people who have collected all the voters' cards who intended to vote for me, and they were prevented. They have put them in a bag. I want to surrender, and they should be counted. The votes were counted, but the IEC then, it was this man, Kerr, Mustafa Kerr,
yes, who later became chairman,
who was the returning officer, who was in charge of URR, said to me, it's only votes that are cast that can be counted, that are valid to be counted. But these votes that you have brought, about 1,000 something, cannot be counted. And I was defeated by about 100 and something votes.
So if the election was free and fair, you would have won with a landslide.
So I decided, I said to them, I'm not accepting, I'm not signing this. I'm going in for a petition to go into the Supreme Court. They said that is dangerous. People call me, it's dangerous to challenge these people. I say, even if I will die, it's worth it. I'm dying for my country. Let them kill me at night. I will know I die for my country. Anyway, I'm going to die. So why should I fear to tell what happened? And so I will go and tell the Gambian people it's going to be on record. And I petitioned it. Then the Chief Justice of this country was from Sierra Leone, Justice Umar Al-Ghali.
He later became chairman of an investigative committee, the Al-Ghali Commission.
Exactly. So I went there, and the petition was tough. I brought about 12 witnesses, and the APRC couldn't bring. They brought only one lady. And they knew definitely this is everybody. It was an open secret. Open secret.
But then, of course, the judiciary and everything was under the control of, or under the praise of the military.
Yes,
quasi-military regime.
That's right. So that's why the court couldn't go justly, and they said we will hear from them. It took them almost 8 to 9 months before a judgment was delivered. And then, according to the electoral degree of electoral degree 78, 1996. Any election petition should not be more than 30 days. Petition should be made so that the candidates would know their fate.
But I guess you definitely knew that you were really on a wild goose case.
I knew, but I wanted to fight, and Gambian people know that I am fighting for the right thing. Whether I win and go back to elections, by elections or not, but I wanted Gambian people to know what happened. And thank God, it was said, because then we had this radio station, FM radio, where Ibrahim Masilla, now the president.
Citizen Radio.
Very good, Citizen FM. Ibrahim Masilla, and also one boy, what's the name?
Mambanjik too was there.
Mambanjik was there, and this boy now in UK.
He's
a journalist, very good journalist then. He was very young also.
Okay. Aliou Badara
Saja. They were reporting 24/7. They reported about what was happening, and Gambians were well informed about the malpractices that happened during the course of the elections. I was very happy. That was enough for me.
Then you got fed up and perhaps left for the United States.
I got fed up. And it didn't stop there. I was even fired from my job because I am very stubborn.
That was where?
I was working at the McCarthy Square. Then, and the military came and changed it to 22nd July. They changed the name. Immediately while I was there. Before I got fired, they changed the name from McCarthy Square to 22nd July. And they fired me from my job because of my critics to the government.
I know.
And also that I wanted to petition, and who was then the chairman is Gabriel Roberts.
Yes.
Gabriel Roberts wrote a letter to IEC that it is wrong. Mr. Mballow dismissal is illegal. Because he applied leave of absence.
Which is allowed.
Under 170, under the section 170.
But again, nothing came out of it. Of course, you knew it was.
So I got fed up and I decided to move to go to the United States of America. At least to prepare myself, not to go for it for good. I was going. If you look at, I have a newspaper where I had an interview with the Observer newspaper, where I said I would never run away from this fight. I said I am going, but I will come back.
And true to your word, you continue to be a political activist. In fact, even more stronger activist during the time you were in the United States. But then most of it you were in the United Democratic Party.
Yes.
So people were surprised. You organized or even took part in many protests against Jammeh's human rights abuses, attack on press freedom, etc. You demonstrated almost in all public places in the States and had a lot of activity with exiled human rights and political organizations such as the Gambia Development, something you were...
I was working with the Gambia Movement
for Development, something.
Gambia Movement for Democracy, Gambia Movement to restore democracy in the country.
Etc.
Not only that, after there was an organization, human rights organization formed by West Africans.
Yes.
Some Mauritanian citizens, some Senegalese, and some Guinea-Conakry citizens. Called the Organization for Democracy and Justice in West Africa. And I was selected. These are lawyers, my good friends lawyers, who are helping me on the Gambia case also. They were among those who formed me and registered. They still registered. And they selected me as the chairperson, as CEO of that organization to battle with other problems in those countries.
Good. So, but then after a long struggle in December 2016, there came the dawn of a new era. Yes. In the build-up to the 2016, you were always vocal.
Yes.
But at some point, instead of being the UDP you were, at some point, and the UDP, of course, was negotiating with other parties to form a coalition. But then your name became associated with the Gambia Democratic Congress, GDC, who never took part in the Congress, in the coalition agreements.
Yes.
Why did you shift allegiance from UDP to the GDC?
That's very good. I'm happy. That's a good question.
Yeah.
What happened was
because you know very little about GDC at the time.
GDC is new. It was newly formed. It was not even formed.
Exactly at the time. So is it because of this lineage? Or some like ethnic or regional affinity with Mama Kande that you went there because you didn't know anything about GDC. Suddenly you became GDC. Why?
That's a good
because
question.
both you and Mama Kande perhaps know each other back in Jimara.
Yes, that's a good question.
Yeah,
I will tell you what happened there.
Yeah.
Throughout my life, I have been a UDP.
Yes.
Until 2016.
That's what everybody's surprised. Why?
2016. I have been the chairman for the chairman of the United Democratic.
All your life.
I formed most of these branches you see in chapters.
Exactly.
Even I influenced the formation of UDP chapter in UK.
That's why everybody's surprised.
And others.
That's why everybody's surprised.
But also Suntu Dafe and others. Yeah. I encourage them so that we have a chapter in UK under the United Democratic. Elsewhere also in other countries, it was because of my influence that all those chapters.
So why did you suddenly become GDC?
What happened? UDP prior to the 2016 election, there were so many debates. When they arrested Usainu Dabo and others, I was the one who said we should contest elections to make sure that Usain Dabo and the other 30 people are out of jail. We can only do that if we boycott this election. That's when we are giving legitimate to the incumbent. I said we cannot do that. But there were so many debates. People didn't. As a chairman, I should have been respected. I know what I was saying.
So you mean there were debates as to whether the UDP should
participate or not? People said UDP is going to. They said flatly UDP is going to boycott. We went up to freedom to debate this. I went up to take up to give my reasons. To justify my reason why UDP should contest. But this it was not listened to.
Because they made similar mistakes in 2002 when they boycotted the
National Assembly also.
Yeah,
we got the same disaster.
Yeah,
so I said, listen, I here today, where the country is today, I am not going to look at party. I'm going to look at the Gambia. I want Gambia to be free. I want the Gambian to be free. It's not only UDP. Whether UDP or not, the Gambia is going to move.
So, okay.
Therefore, what I'm looking for right now, I'm going for anything, even somebody who has graduated in high school in Gambia.
Yeah.
If the Gambian people pick somebody who is ready to, brave enough to challenge Jammeh, I am going to, my $1 will go to him.
So in the end,
before UDP came back to us to tell us they are going to contest. Mama Kande and the GDC formed a party, and they said they are going to fight Jammeh.
I see.
I said, this is what I was waiting for.
So in other words,
for somebody to contact me and tell me that he's ready to fight.
So in other words, if the UDP had not been hesitating as to whether they will take part or not, you would have still been UDP.
I would have not given the Mama Kande my support, because when UDC was registered here, I didn't know about it.
Yes, that's why
I don't know about it. I know Mama Kande,
so it's not because
I didn't know any of the executive in GDC, unlike the UDP. UDP from day one.
Yeah, so
it's
not because you knew Mama Kande from Jimara. No. So it was because the UDP were not sure whether to contest or not.
That's the main reason. Okay. And then when I gave my word to GDC, now you are contesting, I'm going to support you.
You could not go back.
I couldn't go back.
After UDP,
because I cannot encourage them to keep up fighting now, the regime to change. Yeah. They go up to halfway again. Yeah. I go back and leave them.
Okay, but fine, the UDP, the GDC, it was good. You were with them. They were actually, anyway, they were still opposition to
the regime to change.
Sorry. But people said you played a key role in preventing them from joining the convention, the coalition.
Those are not accurate.
I remember Mama Kande said the method he wants them to use, they wouldn't agree to that.
Yes.
And he also felt that the smaller parties actually shouldn't have equal representation with the bigger ones. He suspected the smaller parties are just proxies for UDP. Some of those are his reasons for not going. But people said, you, among all people, persuaded him not to join there.
Lamincham.
Yes.
All the negotiations were done here on the ground.
You weren't here, but you have always been influential. From
all the delegates who were sent to participate, Saihou never participated.
Yeah, but
I didn't know.
But if you were talking to Mama Kande, it was...
How many people were talking to Mama Kande, Mr. Cham?
Okay.
The whole country was talking to Mama Kande, just like me.
I see.
But I don't own the party. The party is registered. My card, my voter's card is not there, unlike UDP. The delegates selected to go there, I didn't know. What they said, the criteria they wanted, was among the executive that they came up with that they wanted, I don't know, a nationwide, I don't know what. Nationwide force.
Nationwide primaries.
Primaries.
Yes.
I was not here. So how can this be put on Mbalow's head that he is the one
who you were very influential, and Kande was listening to you among the people from the diaspora. I mean, the people in the diaspora were very influential in the course of the electoral process, because they were...
Cham, somebody, I won't blame some of the people who might say that because they don't know. For simple reason, that knowing my name, the trade name of Mballow in Gambian politics, was associated with GDC, carried a big weight.
Yes.
That's the bottom line.
Have been the case.
It carried the fact that Mballow was there, and I was the one who organized, advised them until they formed. Although I was just a member supporting them of that GDC.
Okay.
I have never been a signatory to the party registration. I have never been in their policy and program signature of those. But my word, they listened to me, and I said to them, you have to battle this thing. We have to free this country. All my aim and objective is, Mama Kande, make sure that you participate and we bring a democratic and genuine change in this country.
All the same, the GDC didn't join the coalition. Yes. All the same, their shared objective of removing Jammeh was achieved.
I was very happy.
Yes.
That my overall aim was for regime change.
Yes.
Whether anybody, if not Mama Kande, even I said it, anybody, would have been that. I have been supported. I have been with the UDP. And there was a coalition, you remember, in 2006.
Yeah.
In NAD.
The NAD coalition.
You know the role I play? I play a major role in mobilizing funds for the coalition.
We know that.
Through the diaspora, sending T-shirt, container of T-shirts.
Exactly.
Doing a lot of funding, mobilizing funding through from the financial
so
community. Now I was seeing Gambia. I want people to understand that whatever role Saihou play was...
No, nobody had any doubt about your commitment to the struggle for a better Gambia. Nobody doubted that.
Yes.
So then, yes, like I said, all the same, Jammeh was defeated, both by the coalition and the GDC combined, their efforts combined.
Yes.
And then there came a name, one Adama Barrow, who also come from Jimara.
Yes.
And what happened? What was your reaction when that happened?
Not only that, before Jimara, I will tell you, before even Adama Barrow became Adama Barrow, when Adama Barrow was selected, when in the middle of campaign, and it happened that Mamaka Adama Barrow also
from Jimara.
From Jimara, we all brought together. We are all as family. Our mothers sit together. They do everything together, like family members.
Yes.
He also got the opportunity to be selected. People started saying, now, say Mballow, you are in hot soup. You are between the devil and the depth sea. Because Mama is your family member. This one, your family member has been selected.
Right.
What are you going to do?
Yes.
I said, first come, first half.
So it was Kande who came
first come, first half. Mama Kande came first.
Yeah, so you are going to stay.
I have already given you my word to contest and fight. Adama is this. Although you will never see me insulting or criticizing Adama Barrow. Or not to vote. All my voices will go through all the radio stations. What I was saying is vasi. If you don't vote for Mama Kande, vote for Adama Barrow. We need change. That was my message to Gambians.
But then it was.
Not only I didn't stop that. Could you believe that I raised funds for the coalition?
Even when you are GDC?
When I was raising funds for GDC, I was raising funds with Saihou Conte and others, mobilizing funds, sending it through Lamin Tunkara for the coalition. Because my aim, and like I said, my aim and objective was a change.
Okay. So now,
these people were all equal to me. Whoever wins,
but you said, first come, first serve. It was Kande who first came.
Kande who faced that he's contesting now. And the UDP is not contesting.
And you stuck with Kande.
Kande.
Why did you change then to now, as we speak? Why did you change to Barrow? Is it because he won the presidency and he had the positions and the money and the power, and not Kande? But you said the one who come first, you stick with that.
That's a good
When did you turn your back to Kande and embrace Barrow?
Why? That's excellent. That's an excellent question.
Yeah.
That I need to explain to you. Why?
Yes.
Why? Because number one, if I fought for democratic change for 20 years in this country, and it happened, democratic change is here, and I have seen that there are threats to that democracy coming. There are serious threats coming. Even the coalition is about to collapse, and we are going to have problems. There is a big division, whether 3 years, 5 years, constitution. That means it can bring a state of anarchy. My role is to come and make sure that I support that government until it is in the right footing. That Adama Barrow is put on, whether job or not job. That was my intention. Now that any government that is in place, we should not allow that to collapse again, and we go back into the same scenario that the country went through. It would not be fair. Then what is the use of my struggle? What is the use of the Gambian in the diaspora struggle? Because they wanted a genuine democracy where we will have media freedom, where we will have freedom of the press, where we will have freedom of the movement under Section 25, freedom of association. So, Section 25 spells it very clearly that Gambians should have the right to belong to any political party or to form a political party or to be voted for.
So if I get you well, you said you abandoned GDC to come to support President Barrow's government because at the time you feared that all these questions and threats of him to step down and him claiming that no, I will go by the constitution, you felt that this thing is really going to lead to insecurity.
And insecurity of the country, and that there might be violence.
So you said, well, now...
I said now...
But I mean, it was not... The threat, much of the threat was not coming from Kande and the GDC anyway. It was from the UDP.
It was, they made statement that he should step down, he should honor. He should honor the 3 years. And 3 years is unconstitutional.
No, but listen carefully.
Yes.
You know, a man is as good as his word.
Yes.
And leadership is about trust.
Yes.
So if I come and campaign and said, I will go after 3 years.
Yes.
Now I said, no, I will rather stay because, I believe that the Constitution really mandated me to be 5 years. Are you not sending mixed signals? Because, everybody knows that your time is 5 years. But you told people you will only stay for 3. And now you now saying that I'm going for 5. Don't the people have a right to question your integrity?
Well, what happened, Mr. Cham?
Yeah.
The reason why the president said he was going to stay for 5 years.
After saying he would go for 3.
3 years.
Yes. Is that not inconsistent?
Let me explain to you. It's not inconsistent. I will tell you the circumstances that that amounted to that.
What
that made that the president to take that decision. Because remember, when the coalition was meeting, during the formation of the coalition, Ousainou Darboe was not part of the coalition. He was in jail.
Yes.
I think all of you can agree with me.
Of course he was.
When he came out, the coalition was united. And they said they are going to stay for 3 years. In fact, O.J. Jallow and others vehemently supported the 3 years, that we stay in 3 years. The friendly, although it is not constitutional, but then the friendly agreement. Most of the coalition members said they are going to do that. But then what happened? When Ousainou Darboe came and he was appointed in the government, he made some threats that President Barrow, he's going to take President Barrow to court for going for 3 years, not for 5 years, according to the Constitution. Because the Constitution, 1997 Constitution, Section 63.
Okay, let me help you there. What Ousainou did there,
yes.
I was there at the bureau, together he was sitting with, I think Mai and both Hamad were all there. Okay. What he said was, okay, in fact, this bit about 3 years, he is really against it. And anybody who challenges President Barrow, he is going to court to defend him, that in fact the term he has mandated him to 5 years. Now, at the time, of course, the UDP themselves were accused of trying to hijack the coalition agenda and make Barrow to run a de facto UDP government at that time.
Yes.
That is why it was their interest to keep him for 5 years to betray the coalition agreement. But when Barrow began to, himself began to really show interest in staying beyond 5 years, the UDP would only have been generous to him for only 5. When he began to show interest that he wanted to go beyond 5, that's where the trouble came between him and the UDP changed and said, okay, let's use the shortcut and go back to the agreement of 3 years when they had already made a pronouncement that they really don't do. So those are the confusions, that's what happened. But would you blame Mr. Barrow for failing his promise? Yes. Because his political opponents really said he should go for 5 years.
Yes.
So do you blame him because Ousainou Darboe mispronounced or misstepped? He should now have an excuse to do what he likes.
Let me tell you what happened there.
Yeah.
Barrow didn't take this decision by himself. He consulted. Because you can see there was a pronouncement by coalition members led by Fatoumata Jahumpa.
Fatoumata Tambajang.
Sorry, Fatoumata Tambajang. Fatoumata Tambajang, Henry Gomez and others, that they have agreed, the coalition have agreed for Barrow, and including PPP, O.J. Jallow and others. And I think you saw that press release. Yeah. They came and they made a pronouncement.
There was a meeting
that they have agreed for President Adama Barrow to serve for 5 years.
I'm telling you the background. That was when they met at the Kairaba.
Yes.
Trying to discuss the coalition agreement.
Okay.
And that was when the UDP, for example, said, before we can agree on whether to really give him the moral mandate to continue, shall we revisit the agreement first and see whether it's been signed or not? We know all that.
Yes.
We know everything. What I'm trying to say is it an excuse, a valid excuse for Mr. Saihou Mballow, who told me he will come here day after tomorrow, now change his mind and said, I'm coming next week, Because Ousainou Darboe had told me that, in fact, I have all the right to stay until next month to visit Mr. Cham. So is it because of Mr. Darboe that I should also just throw away my promise? It was not Mr. Darboe who was elected. It was me who was elected, who told the people I will go. Why would I use Mr. Ousainou Darboe's mispronouncements now to embolden me to stay in the power? After I told people
Ousainou Darboe, at that material time, he was regarded as somebody who was holding the bigger cake. Yeah. Of the coalition.
But he's not elected. He's not elected. Right?
Yes, he's not elected. Definitely.
Do you agree?
No, not only that. Not only
do
that.
You agree?
You know why?
Okay, do you agree with me?
Do you know that the National Assembly elections also contributed in making Barrow to think twice what he was doing? Because all the coalition agreed that they should contest the national.
Do you agree with me? I told you a person should be as good as his words. Yes. Let me give an example. Yes. Do you agree that if it was Halifa Sallah, who was elected at that convention and elected president on these 3 years, do you agree that he will go?
He will go.
Do you agree that he will respect?
Well, politicians, I cannot say.
I'm telling you.
What I'm telling you is, I have. Let me tell you.
I'm telling you about principles. We have history. Listen, we have a history of politicians who are principled, and people who know that leadership is about trust. I'm asking you, if it was Halifa Sallah who was made president on the promise that 3 years, I'm telling you that even Ousainou Darboe, OJ and Adama Barrow and all said, Halifa, you should go for 5. Do you think he will go for 5?
Well, that is left to the Gambian.
I can tell you he will step down at 3 years.
That's what you believe.
That is the history he has.
For me, I have 100% support for Halifa, and definitely I have been his keen follower until there are certain.
Okay, it's not about
people
Halifa.
have been telling me.
It's not about Halifa.
Let me just tell you.
I'm giving an example. It's not about Halifa now. Let's go back.
Yes. Okay.
Let's go. Okay. All right.
Let's go.
Now, is it not also true? You might probably not hear that, according to some UDP people. What Mr. Barrow could have done if he had developed any interest in sticking to power and wanted the UDP support, if he had come to the party and told the party leadership, well, you know what, okay, I recognized your support for me to go 5 years. That's perfect. I recognize that. However, I want the party to make me the party's flag bearer. But instead, what they accuse him of doing is that he wanted to go down, plant his own people through bribery of regional and local delegates.
That's just an accusation.
No, I'm trying to say. Well, some national assembly members admitted they took $10,000.
I have seen that through the media.
But some
said I was giving.
Two of them said they were
giving.
Two of them were.
There was no written document to show that you are giving because of this.
Okay, there were accusations that people really who cooked the idea among the you were part of the UDP.
Yes.
I mean, NPP and UDP are from the same family.
They are brothers.
They are brothers.
Yes.
Listen, they are from the same family.
Yes.
So if NPP is created from UDP, there must be people who actually have a different agenda from the main body. Listen, and that agenda was to plant Barrow behind Ousainou by going behind Ousainou and the regional and local structures of the UDP, planting Barrow supporters there through bribery, buying them motorcycles or vehicles without going through the party channel. So that one other suspected that Mr. Barrow is really, staging a coup d'etat within the party. So we must stop it at all costs. Wasn't that not the case?
Okay, let me tell you.
If you know, what's your opinion on that?
Just give me let me give you my opinion here.
Yeah.
Contrary to what some people believe, I have a different.
But people have been receiving 10,000 MPs.
Let me come to that.
Okay.
You have made that suggestion.
Yeah. It was said. It was claimed.
It was said, and it was said.
Yeah.
Let me come now.
Okay.
What happened is under a party that is democratic.
Yeah.
That believed to be a democratic party should not be scared. A democratic leader in a party should not be scared of some committee members or some members campaigning competition.
Yeah.
How long has Ousainou Darboe been a leader? Since 1996.
Yes.
Ousainou Darboe has been given the opportunity to contest elections 4 times by the UDP.
Yes.
Is he the only UDP?
No, but if
is he the only UDP candidate that the party can have?
But if Mr. Barrow had if Mr. Barrow or anybody who wanted the UDP, Mr. Mballow,
you have asked me the question.
Now I'm trying to say,
yes,
if Mr. Mballow or Mr. Barrow wanted to be the party's leader, why didn't he come in the open and declare his intention publicly?
Okay, let me
and said, I want to challenge Mr.
That's where
Dabo.
I'm coming.
He didn't do that. He didn't do that. We have not had that publicly.
Okay, let me come.
All right.
Let me come. He has said it one time. But I don't want to jump then.
You mean he said? You mean Mballow had publicly said he wanted to become?
He said, if anybody, if you confuse me, if
okay,
you
go ahead.
questions,
Yeah.
you cannot get a good answer.
Okay. Go ahead.
If you put something on the table, allow me to exhaust it.
Okay, go ahead.
And then we go
Very good. Go ahead. Yeah.
The money issue.
Yeah.
What I'm telling you is now we are talking about the leadership. Barrow being leader, trying to get the leadership from Ousainou. Yeah. I will tell you why.
Yeah.
If UDP is a genuine democratic party, as it is called, the party should not be scared. It should not be afraid of people in the party executive.
That should be encouraged. That should be encouraged.
Coming up and the challenge. We have seen what is happening in the United States.
That should be encouraged, yeah.
We have seen what is happening in UK.
Yes.
It is very normal in a democratic setup.
Exactly.
Lamin Cham.
Yeah.
For you we form a party.
Exactly.
You contest elections.
Yeah.
1 term or 2 terms. Say Mballow also come up and say you want to contest.
Provided say Mballow make it publicly that I'm going to contest Lamin Cham's leadership. Like President, how to call it? President Trump, you mentioned the United States.
Yes.
There were other Democrats who wanted to be
in the
parties.
In the primaries.
But they made it well before the election, they made it public.
Adama Barrow one time.
Nobody had ever had Mr. Barrow say, I want to contest the UDP against Dabo. He never said.
Let me tell
you. Not publicly.
Let me tell you. Barrow came out one time during a meeting, during his meetings. Yeah. He said, if anybody want to contest the elections, that is a coup d'etat. That is
no, the elections for what?
He said the 2021.
Yeah, if somebody want to contest
under UDP.
From UDP.
From UDP.
Yes.
That what brought about, maybe you missed that one.
He said that's a coup d'etat.
He said that is a coup d'etat. And then people say, what is Barrow saying? Yes. Is he going to contest, is he going to contest the election, or Ousainou is going to contest the election?
Okay.
You understand? Okay. The following week, Ousainou Dabo came out and said, he is the Secretary General Party of the leader. If Barrow want to contest for 2021 election, he should come back to the party and occupy the position he was occupying. Maybe you missed that.
Okay, no, I didn't miss that. I heard
he missed that.
No,
I was a researcher.
Those were innuendos.
So this is
now those were innuendos. Why didn't Mr. Barrow said publicly that I want to contest the UDP executive position for the party's leadership? He made it clear to all the delegates or nationally. Then Mr. Dabo will be prepared for a contest against Mr. Barrow. But that was never the case. The party, in the lead up to the party's Congress, there was no name in the ballot in the name of Adama Barrow. The Congress was held in the Senegal.
Barrow was away.
No.
Barrow was not in the country. But I remember because I watched it live. You were there.
But even
when Lamin Cham came.
But even if he had made his intention known, I think what should have been in America, before the primaries, you made your intention known. In fact, 10, 20 people, will make their intention. Some will go to the primaries and drop until 1 or 2 are left before the party select one. I'm saying Adama Barrow did not even start a process officially to become, a candidate for the presidency or the flag bearership of the UDP. It was never happened. It was never in the public.
I will tell you why.
He
failed to make it because the ingredients were not there for him to come and contest.
No. It's not because.
Let me tell you what happened.
It's not because
the chairman. In fact, the chairman who were supposed to be in that place were changed illegally, undemocratically in their regions.
Fantastic.
Let me just explain.
Fantastic.
Look at the scenario. Look at what
argument
came.
You are right.
When Lamin Jata, who was leading the Brikama people under UDP, was prevented from entering the Congress hall. Is that democratic?
No.
That was a signal for Adama Barrow that anybody close to you now in the UDP will be eliminated.
But it
didn't stop there. Babukar Jite of Gunju was also treated in the same manner Lamin Jata was treated. That signal shows Adama Barrow. You are in the party now and you are vying to become a candidate in 2021 in the party. But right now, they are closing all the opportunities for you.
But was it that, according to the UDP's argument at the time, that time had already met Adama Barrow and his supporters trying to penetrate the grassroots structures of the UDP by planting their own people, bribing them with motorcycles and monies, so that those delegates really would have gone to the various congresses with the agenda that it is going to be Barrow who is going to be our prince and not Dabo. If like I told you, Barrow had made this clear, there wouldn't have been any reason of anybody trying to eliminate the order. It would have been clear to every delegate that the candidates we have for the UDP leadership is Barrow and Dabo. And then here and there, everybody would have made, perhaps there wouldn't have been this rancor. But anyway, that is in the past.
Let me come there.
That's in the past now. Let's move on. Let's move on.
This is a very important point.
Yeah.
This is a point that should be exhausted.
Okay.
Because many UDP people, many Gambians believe, had the belief that UDP this MPP now, it's the same people.
Yes,
they are divided.
More or less.
They are divided.
Yes.
Why? What caused the division?
Yeah.
It must be looked at.
Okay.
Research to prevent it.
Yeah.
If UDP is very important for the people in the UDP to study what happened and prevent this thing from happening.
Okay.
Now it's not. I think it is our
all of you.
it is our responsibility now to get political parties.
Is it not the responsibility of people like you,
yes,
who have pioneers in the UDP?
Yes.
Is it not really fair for people to blame people like you, and others in the UDP now for the division? When you said you even had to go out, reach out to other members who are not even UDP.
Yes.
You raise funds for them.
Yes.
And you cannot solve it. But then you cannot solve a UDP internal problem.
Yeah. Because
why?
Why?
Yeah.
Party was operating under a cabal. A party that is democratic. You have your leaders in outside. Yeah. Why can't you control them? You know what your critics,
if you isolate what your critics in the UDP or the critics of UDP and PP, you know what they are saying?
Yes.
Okay, they are saying that all this trouble around NPP, UDP is caused by natural greed of this, this group that includes Barrow, Dabo, and all. I mean, you have power already. All right? Seemingly, even though you have the power with other people, but like you yourself admitted to, you have the majority of stake, as you always claim.
In the coalition.
In the UDP, you always claim that. Yes. Although others could always argue that.
We used to.
No, others can always claim that.
No.
They like, for example,
we used to hold majority here
before the 20,
including the
20,
before the collapse of
the coalition. All right, now listen, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
If you, the group UDP, NPP, UDP, who are one and the same,
yes,
could not agree, you already have power. Yes. I mean, your man, even though he resigned, is from UDP. You could not come together to map out a way amicably for succession within the party. You couldn't do that. Then you cause a big depletion, cause a lot of confusion, and bringing people back to square one to look for now a leadership. The people who did not vote for UDP or are not members of UDP or NPP felt disappointed that the division between the two of you have dragged the whole country back to square one. We are squabbling. We're squabbling now because Mr. Barrow and Mr. Dabo couldn't do their homework and see to each other within the party. And that same goes to people like you, Dabo, and others in the NPP and others. Not true.
Yeah, well, in a way, if you look at what happened,
yes,
we will be, all of us leadership will be blamed.
But mainly the NPP, UDP group.
That's what I'm saying, not others.
Yeah,
but UDP leadership and NPP leadership, fail to do their homework properly until to get united.
Yes.
To make sure that they are united.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they couldn't do that, and
because of greed.
A division came. I would call it because of
greed for all sides. After all, the agenda was the transitional government.
But the bigger blame would go to Usainu Dabo.
Okay,
as a leader, he was expected to say, listen, this is a simple thing. Barrow is my son.
Yes.
I am the secretary general and party leader.
Yes.
Now my son has got the presidency. Yes. What am I looking for? I'm a president.
Fantastic.
He would have just taken that.
Yes.
Whereas even he was appointed as the vice president, what is he looking for? But if I were him, I would say UDP be united against Adama Barrow from today.
Now, united behind Adama Barrow.
Adama Barrow for the 2021. Then anybody who is vying to be candidate, wait for the next. After that, you contest against Adama Barrow.
That should have been the position
of Dabo. We would have not have this.
Now listen, that should have been the position of Dabo.
Yes. But
in your view, now listen,
in
your view, that should have been the position of Dabo.
The Secretary General, who is the leader.
But in the eyes of Dabo and his supporters, don't listen, I'm saying, Adama Barrow, instead of coming through the front door to ask for this support you are talking about, went behind to undermine it and plant his own agenda. So these are the two arguments. You cannot discount that. That is not a valid argument. That is what brought the anger. You are saying Usainu should have been satisfied enough. She should have really been, now he should have known that his mission is accomplished. His own protege, so to speak, is got the leadership. Fine. And I think, to be fair with him, he showed that by betraying, or so to speak, allegedly betraying the coalition agreement to say that Adama should go for 5 years. Morally, that was seen as a betrayal of the coalition members because that was not the agreement. Not so. So, I mean, to be fair with Usainu, he had really shown sympathy and support for Adama by even going against what the other coalitions agreed, that he could go for 5 years. But, the big but is, it is not the NPP or the UDP's only agenda. The Gambian people wanted this coalition government, whether it's led by Adama Barrow, Usainu Dabo, or Halifa Saleh, or Umar Jallow, or Hamad Ba, to serve an interim government, whether it's 3 or 5, reform the whole country's bad laws, put in place a system where everybody will be equal before elections, and that person should not contest the subsequent election. Now, it turned out that it was not Halifa Saleh who was elected. It turned out that it was not Hamad Ba who was elected. It turned out that it was not Dr. Lamin Bojang who was not elected. It turned out that it was Adama Barrow who was elected, and Adama want to contest the elections that will happen after the transition, contrary to the Gambian people, not necessarily UDP, contrary to the Gambian people's wishes. Who is to blame? Usainu Dabo or Adama Barrow?
Let me come. If we have to look at the nitty-gritties of the circumstances.
Adama will go and blame Usainu for unburdening him.
Situation.
Okay.
Now, we cannot just blame here President Barrow has done this and now he's...
The bus stops at him.
The problem is...
The bus stops at him.
The moment the foundation is broken, everything...
So nobody nobody has anywhere now. You can do whatever you like.
The fact that the coalition has collapsed...
Yes. But the agreement with the Gambian people...
Some didn't agree the cause of the coalition to be completed. If they have agreed for the National Assembly election to be conducted,
if the foundation,
coalition,
no, Mr.
Mballow,
if the foundation is broken, you are saying anybody can do what you like now.
No, that means everybody is going back to the position.
In that case, wouldn't it have been? If that was the case,
yes.
if what you feel that Mr. Barrow failed.
That's why Barrow was left without a party, and he doesn't know what to do.
So what did he have to do? Step down or continue?
Gambia is bigger than that. He was elected under the sovereignty of the Gambia.
But to serve a transition.
To serve under the constitution.
No, a transition.
There is a constitution.
Transition. For five years. For 5 years now. Let's forget about 3.
Yeah, but
no, listen. The agreement was for... No, the agreement was 5. No, the agreement was...
Speculation for transition.
No, there was... No, the coalition agenda was...
What I'm telling you, that was an MOU. You are talking about a friendly memory.
But was it... Now, wasn't it...
What I'm telling you is when the foundation of the coalition is broken.
Yes.
So nobody can back to the supreme law of the country. That is the constitution. That's what he did.
Yes, but
he went back now.
So now
Gambia is bigger than the coalition.
So now,
Gambia is bigger than anybody.
So the coalition was
the supreme law of the constitution.
So the coalition is more important than the Gambian people.
No, the Gambian people are more important.
And the Gambian people. Now listen. And the Gambian people.
They voted the constitution through a memorandum.
No, that's not, okay, if you listen to me, you said when
a referendum.
Okay, you said when the coalition break away.
He
was left with nothing to do.
No party.
But to march on to 5 years. Because that's what I said, I have told you to forget about these 3 years. I'm talking about the Gambian people said, whether it's 3 or 5. You are the one who told people 3. Gambian people didn't tell you anyway. You are the one who said 3. But the Gambian people had always known that you should really step down after a transition term and do not contest the subsequent election. Now, do I have to blame Mr. Dabo or UDP for that? No. I mean, you don't need to blame anybody for that. That is left to your own accord to respect that or to go ahead. I mean, that's what the Gambian people who are not UDP or people, that's what they want an answer to.
This is why I am quoting on these 2 things.
Yeah.
That is the Memorandum of Understanding document,
okay,
which was not signed, in fact.
Yeah.
and also the constitution.
Yeah.
When we come as friends,
Yeah.
Lamin Cham,
Yeah.
to form a memorandum of understanding among ourselves,
Yeah.
one thing we have to keep behind all the time at the back of our mind, that is constitution is the supreme law. We can form a coalition, we can write an MOU that this is our MOU, we are working on this. But in case that fail, does that mean that we should forget about the constitution? That's what Mballow said.
No,
now that the coalition, we said we should conduct presidential election, national assembly elections, and also local government elections. The UDP has opted out, that they say they are not going to do that.
Yes.
Now that means our MOU has been violated.
No, but Halifa Sallah, though he did not violate the memorandum,
those stayed with the coalition until at the end.
No,
they were with the coalition.
No.
Though he never violated the coalition, they were all the time with the coalition.
Exactly.
But the
so now because UDP left, those aspirations should also be brushed aside.
That's why I told you.
So that's what I'm saying. If you are not UDP, as far as your Adam's consideration is, if you are not, it's about UDP. If they behave like this, I behave like this.
No, look at what happened even in the course during the course of the coalition. Yeah. There were instances when I had people threatening that Halifa Sallah is fired. Did you see that?
No, listen.
If somebody like Halifa
this conversation does not involve Halifa.
No,
I only bring him as other partners of the coalition.
I'm bringing you the hurdle that Adama Barrow went through this coalition members.
Okay, all right, now, okay.
That's why I'm bringing this thing.
All right, now.
If I am trying to
let's move on.
Let's
move on now.
One family,
yeah.
But they are fighting. I started erupted.
Yes.
Some are calling the other one, I fire you.
Yeah.
Some are saying that we are not going by the MOU.
Yes, let's
Adama had only one choice.
Yeah.
Now to stick to the constitution.
Okay, now he did that. He wanted
that's
to do
what he's doing.
That's what he did.
Yes.
But then he forgot about the other agreement that he should serve for only one term and don't contest the election. He forgot about that because UDP have emboldened him. So UDP is to blame for that. All right, let's go ahead. Now NPP has been formed.
Yes.
Now Mr. Barrow has indicated that, he has shown signs that he's going to contest the 2021 elections. So you look at what that has done to the whole agenda of his government. Because, like I told you, whether you like it or not, the government is headed by Mr. Barrow. And it is what Mr. Barrow said or did every day that we are going to take as the words of our government.
That's true.
At the beginning, Mr. Barrow had said, had set up commissions, reform commissions of inquiry, set up transitional justice, etc., etc. But the spirit with which these were done was on the understanding that this government is going to be a transitional one, so it would have no problems, no considerations. It would not be afraid of anybody to implement these things. But people have now observed that since Mr. Barrow began to nurse an ambition to stay into power, he's now turning a black eye or dragging his feet on some of the reforms. Do you agree with that?
I disagree with that.
For example, the security reform, these 4 years with millions of dollars have been pumped, nothing has been achieved in that.
They are still, what I can tell you, what I know about the security reform, is still on. They are working.
4 years after hundreds of millions perhaps have been spent.
Yes, but I mean, Mr. Chan.
We still have ECOMIC, and it shouldn't have been here if much progress have been done on the security reforms.
Yes, Mr. Chan, let us not forget, 22 years is not 22 days.
Yes, but 4 years is not 4 days.
Let me tell you, we all know what happened here.
Yes.
This security reform.
Yes.
It's not a child play.
Yes.
We cannot term it as a child play.
Yes.
Child play. Where so many problems have been done.
Yes.
And all fingers were pointed on the security.
Yes.
Because of the maltreatment,
yes,
intimidation,
yes,
harassment, adoptions, that were done during that year.
Yeah.
So for people to be touched, this task force, the security task force, they are doing their job.
4 years.
Let us give them the opportunity. Let them finish their work. Let us look at what happened during Sierra Leone. How many years? We all know what happened during the war in Sierra Leone. We all know when they were to reform and bring about genuine democracy. It took them almost 8 years for this country to come back to its footing. Because if you rush, you are creating again a situation and giving other people who are just waiting for an opportunity to come back, and we don't want that to happen here.
So
that's why I told you. This is why that I told you. It's among the reason why people like me, who are not seeing party or leadership,
came
we are seeing about the country.
Support the president.
We supported GDC just for the election, and we told them just for the election. Okay. But the country, we want to see that Gambian, the future generation, do not suffer what we suffer. I was kicked and went on exile, living exile. I cannot enter here for so many.
The irony now.
So this what they are doing now. The security reform people, I definitely call on Gambians to give them the time to do their work properly. We want a properly work, a properly job done work. We don't want a hasty work whereby again in the next 1 year the country is messed up.
Okay, so as long as that is happening, we still have to have the foreign economic troops here to keep the peace.
Well, economic is here to make sure that the job that is going on, the reform process.
There's no threat to that.
There is no threat to that. Because they don't want, ECOWAS don't want to spend millions on Gambia and other donor partners to come and do a half-baked job.
But then, don't you think they will now be worried that there is no political will or there is a dragging of feet on the implementation of the story, and then they might say one day, like the Senegalese do, we're sending all our troops, we cannot fund them now.
They are informed, they are well informed, they are brief. Each time there is an ECOWAS summit,
the security committees,
the security reform people are briefing them.
Okay. All right, let's
that one is not a matter of they are sitting down. They are well briefed. Whatever is happening, all the activities are transmitted to the ECOWAS community.
Let's talk about the Janneh Commission. When it came, the NPP government now, because like you said, the coalitions are no more there, selected, what the critics said was some people who were supposed to share the same punishment with others, but they selectively give them sanctions that are different. I'm trying to say now, there are people who have been banished or banned to hold positions. They are still there. People who have been recommended to be sacked, they are there. Institutions that were not meant to do business with anybody are still doing business. So what is the rationale? When you have spent millions to dig out, years and years of racketeering, state interference, state looting of public funds. Still now you still have the system that will still allow that to happen. What is the rationale?
Well, Mr. Sam, the process is on. All I can tell you, the process is on, the implementation of those reports. When you submit your report, you don't expect you just submit the report and I act immediately. I have to go also, I have to do my job properly.
But the thing is, some of the people who were supposed to have been banned or supposed to be recommended to go are still very close to the presidency. Even 2 years after, 1.5 years after the recommendations were done, doesn't that send a signal that this system perhaps not serious in implementing these recommendations?
No, there is no serious, there is nothing.
But people who are supposed not to come near officialdom activities are very close to the presidency. That's the problem.
I have not seen anybody who was supposed.
I don't want to name names, but people have been named who against who recommendation was made should not hold office or should be sacked, and they are not, and they are close to the. You know that very. You work with them. Anyway, let's move on. Now let's go on to the APRC. Some time ago, an APRC junior official suggested that there might be talks between the APRC and the NPP, although APRC officials denied that there are any formal talks as that. But everybody in this country is now beginning to believe that there's some rapprochement between President Barrow and the leadership of the APRC. When he went to Fonyi, he said he was misquoted, but it was there that he said the President Jammeh could come back as an ordinary citizen. Only if it took his, former Justice Minister to be bold to say, look, President Jammeh, if he comes here, he has to face, really repercussions, will be prosecuted. He seemed to really, the former Attorney General, seemed to be talking more in the liking, in tune with the Gambian people rather than President Barrow himself.
Well, President Adama Barrow is the leader of this country.
Yes.
And he is the one who is expected to guard the constitution, supreme law of the country. And also, he is the one who established this commission. How do we expect, how can Barrow come out and tell people, if Jammeh come today, he'll be arrested, he'll be this and that, while he has assigned people to do a job. The job is not completed. Is that not jumping the gun if he does that?
But he can say he can come back as a private citizen. He said that. And he didn't wait for the commission. He said it, and later they said, well, what he meant was he was.
Yes, but what he meant was every citizen.
But everybody understood that.
No, what he didn't say. If he had what he said, if it was mean that Jammeh to come tomorrow, Jammeh will come. He's the president. You said it here. Yeah. He's the president today. But what he was trying to express to Gambians is that as of today, we are all Gambians. Whoever goes out, you can come back. And he also gave a reason that what happened yesterday will not happen today. He said, in the past, Gambians died, there were instances where Gambians died outside. Their families wanted to bring them. He gave an example of Buba Bande and Kuko Sambasanya. He said, now that is not going to happen. Gambians can come back to your country. Nothing will happen to you. That's what he said. That's what he means. But he is based on rule of law and the work that is pending.
Now, is it true, now that you are a member, an executive member of the NPP, that there is really a possibility for the NPP and APRC to ally?
Well,
are they not seen now talking along those lines? I mean, they sympathized the government in the parliament as far as the new constitution was concerned. Wasn't that enough evidence that they are now one and the same?
No, don't. I mean, you are not. It is not connected. What they happened. I think what the APRC did in National Assembly
was their own thinking.
It's their own thinking.
Analysis that the constitution was bad.
It's their own. They did it based on their own agenda. That is the APRC. They wanted to defend the 1997 constitution.
You were on record to say President Barrow had no hand in the defeat of the constitution. Yet back in April, when they submitted their position paper to the CRC on their observations of the draft, they completely opposed the starting of the second term. So definitely it cannot be coincidental that sympathizers of the government, the parliament, voted against it. It cannot be coincidence.
If he play right now, if he associate, the NPP to APRC,
to have it work together in parliament.
To have worked together in parliament. Then that would be unfair. Because there were instances in parliament, bills that NPP, President Barrow brought, they were voted
out by the APRC.
So now, because of they have defended, they said they are not interested in new constitution. They are defending their
They had their own agenda. They want the 1997
constitution. We had them saying that through interviews that we don't need new constitution. We are defending our constitution. That our party brought into this country is good. And so why should Barrow, with all fairness, why should Barrow be blamed for that?
And that coincides with President Barrow's interest to kick the draft constitution out. So they
that was no interest. Barrow was very Barrow. What he did
but Barrow's cabinet opposed that bit about the starting of the Barrow's cabinet is not against two terms. That must be clear. Yes. What they are against is to have it applied retroactively.
Retroactive.
Now, if the moral question is, if the whole Gambia is saying that their president should term for only 2 terms, all right? You who are in power have already served 1, all right? Why do you want 2 more to make it 15 if you're really serious to really respect the government people's wish for 2 terms?
Well, here, let us look at it according to rule of law.
Yeah, I don't want the rule of law.
This is why many people are confused even during the transition. You see, the law is we have to respect the rule of law.
Yes.
If we want this country to be a better country,
exactly,
we have to. That's why America is very powerful. That's why the Western countries are very powerful.
Respect the rule of law.
They respect the rule of law.
Exactly.
If they tell you, if there is a tape here at your door by the police that nobody should pass, if you pass there, even a minister will be arrested.
Yes, that's true.
We have to respect that, Mr. Chairman.
Exactly.
If we bring a draft constitution, and the draft constitution is going according to rule of law, and the rule of law state that the law should not be retroactive. Therefore, why should they put there President Barrow from 2017, the transition period that he is serving from 2017 to 2021 would be counted. We expected them to do the right thing. That President Adama Barrow, if this constitution passed the first reading, second reading, third reading in the National Assembly and happen to go up to referendum and it is passed, that start third republic. That would start, our third republic would start. Therefore, if President Barrow's contest his term, if he decides to contest, his term will begin
if he wins.
From there.
If he wins.
If somebody wins, his term 10 years now is what is going to stand in this country. That is the fact, Mr. Cham. But I couldn't figure out why you are going to, but I mean, retroactive in the constitution. That even the constitution that is not in place now. Look at now what happened. Now, it was still at the National Assembly because they have the power.
Now because
they are elected people like President Adama Barrow. They said, listen, Barrow is elected like us. Yeah. He is sent to the State House by the Gambian people. We are elected and sent by the Gambian people in the National Assembly. That's the message the NRP, the APRC, the PPP National Assembly member, and also GDC, two National Assembly members send there, that they are also powerful, that they are rejecting this thing, and they have the power.
What is clear is that it's neither coincidental nor deliberate that there are more things in this draft that Barrow is opposed to than he's really agreed with. So therefore, it's his natural interest to have it defeated. For example,
give me an example.
You yourself came out, you already addressed the issue about the second term, which you said will be discriminatory against him.
Yes.
You yourself was recorded in the paper that
that
the new constitution,
that is correct.
That the new constitution actually is tailor-made to suit somebody called Ousainou Darboe, whose conviction would have really played against him being eligibility question in 2021. That even is subject to interpretation by lawyers. But you said this was another issue. So now this brings us to two issues that the president would have been happy that this constitution is defeated. Yet you said this is all coincidental.
Let me tell you. Myself, as a Mballow, I have my opinion. I have my Section 25 give me the freedom to express myself.
Certainly.
In any Gambian situation.
Yes, certainly.
Just like yourself.
Yes.
I came out when the constitution was distributed to Gambians. Yeah. And when I went through it, I came
voice out.
I voiced out my opinion, exactly. And how I feel about the constitution. Exactly. I said the constitution number one. If you if you look at how it is in terms of the president, the retroactiveness, that clause that they put there is very unfair.
Exactly.
I said they should have done this thing justly, that they let them tell Gambians that anybody elected after the passing of this constitution, the 10-year term. But Barrow has no objection on that. He has been advocating.
No, two-term. No, there's no doubt about it. Barrow has no objection to
but they should have said it.
Yeah,
but if you now, if they come now, show the Gambian people that we have the power, we are giving to draft this, we are doing what we want. The National Assembly also will come and tell them that, listen, we have seen something that we don't want, we will not pass it. This is what.
So in other words, Mr. Barrow's people like you.
So Barrow was sitting down.
No, people like you who.
We have no power.
Oh, okay. Barrow's supporters probably see that these drafters actually had somebody in their mind to favor against the president. So
not only that. Yeah. Not only that. You just mentioned that I said. In certain section of the Constitution that I read, Section 94, subsection 2C, when I read that the draft Constitution, I saw there that people who are disqualified, you might not be qualified to be a president if you are convicted, if you are fired from your dismissed from your job, if you are found guilty of a commission of inquiry under the law, but it's put there. But it will not apply to those who are pardoned. To those who are pardoned.
You think that?
I'm not thinking.
Okay. You believe that was put there?
Straight shooter.
Yeah,
it's not thinking.
You believe that was put there purposely.
To someone who is applied to it, that someone that it is related. Okay. Whom would you relate to that in this candidate?
Yes, that's whoever. Right now, Ousainou Darboe can be there, another person next year, another person. So you mean that was put there purposely to?
I said that one is related to Ousainou Darboe and is there for Ousainou Darboe. They put it there for Ousainou Darboe because he is the only one right now. If there was somebody also
you would have
whom it applied to,
yes,
Halifa Sallah,
like for example,
Jallo,
or maybe if Kerr
I would have come and say, it applies to Kemisen, Mama Kande, or because this relate to them. This is what I did.
Okay.
I just the right to do.
We should
stop beating about the bush. I don't beat about the bush.
Okay, that of course, like I said, is subject to interpretation by lawyers. You and I are not lawyers. So we can hold opinions, but we leave the courts or whatever if it gets there to. Let's go to conclude. Let's come to contemporary issues. The NPP is gearing up to contest the Nyamina. Is it West? Always correct me. West.
Is this your last question? Because
yes, that's my last question.
I told some people.
Yes, West. West.
Yes.
The NPP. Last time when we talked to you, you had a lot of candidates who really want to contest there.
Yes.
And it's a GDC. Well, so to speak, the victory was too narrow to call it a stronghold against the NRP. But now we are not hearing NRP, who gave the GDC a rough ride the last time. It's the NPP stroke NRP coalition that we are hearing there. How confident are you that you're going to win that seat? Because that's a litmus test for your party.
Let me tell you, what I can tell you is NPP is going to win the by-elections. Mm-hmm. On the 7th
of November.
Is scheduled, forthcoming scheduled by-elections of November, 7th.
Who's your candidate now?
We have not selected. The process is on.
Okay.
So many, some people in Nyamina they came together, they discussed the candidate among themselves, and they have applied for sponsorship of the NPP. We are working on that. We cannot tell you who is going to be selected. We cannot tell you who is not going to be selected. But all I can tell you is, at the end of the day, whoever is selected will contest, and the others are ready to work with that person to make sure that the agenda of His Excellency President Adam about developmental agenda and also the reconciliation process that he is engaged in this country would be complete.
And that would be good, because that would be your first elected National Assembly, although you have a couple who are freelancing for you in the parliament.
We look forward.
Yes.
The party is going to have our first National Assembly member in the National Assembly.
Plus your freelancers, that will make about...
Plus our freelancers who are also out there, who are supporting us.
Okay.
We really appreciate their work. Definitely, and we look forward for November.
Fantastic. Saihou Mballow, it has been a pleasure talking to you. Saihou Mballow is the Deputy Youth Advisor at the Presidency and a member of the National People's Party of President Barrow. It's been a pleasure talking to you on the brunch.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Now, until we come back next week, goodbye from me, Lamin Cham. Until next week. Bye.
domoro kadiyata
boy janno sikes restaurant
e sai nakko be ninna dimbal nimba domoro kala janno
domoro seneyata adiyata topotoro fanan kendema bije luntan during tamala abeka domoro kijani adi manda wala de teka we bijele anim fanan ka fadi jang ikono e fa e ka fa minne ko pastry anim bakery iko fanan be kalele badde lomba conference lomba workshop lomba ye fo fendin lon dunia kono domoro betama nyillom international to wada number 1
amanke ba domo la jang damman
esa domo jang is atariya
wo mu kubandi
sa nakko sa futandi
oto sa nakko be mu CK's restaurant
ndabana janna mu yat ni manje dorom bijam
aban
CK's restaurant, known for best quality food and customer satisfaction.
Miss B Designer Outlet is the #1 quality and affordable stop shop for all your needs. Get your evening dresses, suit and ties, office wears for both ladies and gentlemen, beach wears, sport wears, pure leather shoes for men, quality belts, bags, heels for all beautiful ladies, original perfumes, accessories, and a lot more. Find us at Kololini Road opposite Gaddafi Mosque at the Aqua Bridge Station, or call us on 295-3411 or 764-2486. Miss B Designer Outlet. Shop right, look good.
Love like fire. Wow. Love like fire. Xam ngeen rek affaire bi xam ngeen fan la? Skincare la. 2020 lañ wax de. Wow. Fii nag mooy Kerr fan Kerr zero tache. Perfect skin. Skincare saa su ne rek niñ ko dee defee rek loo lañ soxlaati rek maanaam bu ngeen am problème ci seen skin yéen xam ngeen fan la fii ngeen di ñëw suma xarit yeeg am di jàmm yi nga xam ne taas daf lañ sonaloon xam nga doon xeesal ba la ka xum éneew ma lañ ko nag waaye just in case comme ni ko gars yi di waxee rek en cas just in case loolu xew xam ngeen fi ngeen di ñëw skin care plus si yu baax rek la ñoo dox nag ay baax rek fu ne la ñoo dem ci réew mi di lañ indi rek nag products yu baax du Paris du Italie du USA du fi mu nekk nii sax boole nañ ci nag Sweden fu nekk lañ leen a indilee products bu dee tamit nag da nga ñuul rek ñu lay jamaa natural beauty that melanin dripping we do have stuff for you as well emuñ si skin care products rek ñu ngi ci cuub yi tamit fu ne la ñoo jaar in fact sax last commercial bi ñu defoon waxuñ leen woon ne dañoo dox ci ay kawar 9A grade rek nag waaw we do have bundles as well hair si lu ne la ñoo dox ñun ñu ngi ci rafetal jigéen rek luy taaral jigéen rek waaw boo leen di tukki tamit bëggoon rek classic suitcase ñu dañoo dox ci ay Samsonite duñ dee indi any brand of suitcases though other than Samsonite comme li ma dee wax rek boo eggee airport dëri Samsonite dafa am nuñ laa xoolee waaw ngeen ne lan nag waaw skin ci moom la ñu gën a xamee nag skin care products ci moom la ñu gën a xamee ñu ngi dox tamit bentey tamit si ay dàlla man waaye man nag skin care mooy suma specialty xam nga rek jigéen bu sa xar kanam réglé loo def mu jag am nañ Patricia Reiner Kiwi Eye the whole range Lighten Up Gold Tomatine I mean the list can just go on and on and on and on lépp loo xam ne rek luy taaral jigéen la ci yooyu rek la ñoo dox skin care plus nag emuñ si Gambia rek ñu nga United States ñu ngi Gambia fii ba pare bu dee yaa ngi anywhere in Europe mun nañ la ko mail within 3 days rek ñetti fan rek nga jot say diw emuñ si loolu rek dañ laa consult tamit balaa ñu laa jaay diw dinañ def a free consultation pour wax la rek exactly li nga xam ne moo méngoo ak sa kanam dinañ leen wax tamit ne rek am nañ perfumes fragrances men's shirts accessories we do dresses as well we do blouses I mean we do shoes name it we do them Skincare Plus 2020 is our year of perfection zero task fi mu nekk nii réew mi fii kenn waratu fi task kenn waratu fi am problème kanam kenn waratu fi am problème picture boo ko amee dafa fekk ne rek ñëwuloo ci place bi fii